Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction bingo for One Piece chapter 1154. The only things I've heard about this one are that it's really good and I should try my best not to be spoiled, so I have avoided spoilers very hard. I mean, I always do. I don't really follow much One Piece stuff or really any One Piece stuff. If I do want to watch something related to One Piece, I go search it out myself, so I usually don't have to worry about spoilers very much. It's very rare that I get recommended One Piece stuff, really. So I have avoided anything that, sets my expectations pretty high. Not that they need to be set high, because One Piece has just been delivering for months now. So it's not like I really need to be told that this is going to be really good. So yeah, I am very excited to see, why specifically it's been so good, and yet this one is just continuing, especially after last chapter, which was incredible. What are we going to get? What could it be like added on to this backstory, presumably? But either way, I think that's about it. If you want to play along, make your own bingo card. The bingo card generator will be linked down below in the comments and description as always. And if you want to get these One Piece videos early, I post them for patrons and channel members when the scans come out or when I get a chance to read the scans. And I post it publicly for everybody when the official translation comes out. So yeah, I think that's it. If you want to hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. You can see these videos a bit early. But if you don't want to be spoiled, you can also just avoid them because of that. So yeah, either way, let's start reading, and before we do, see what I have on my bingo card. So I didn't really make too many changes to the bingo card generator. I didn't really have a ton of time, and also I was like, is there really much that I would change? If anything, the only thing I considered changing was adding Gorosei back into the mix, because I don't think that's a spot anymore that you can get, because I feel like there's a potential with like things between Harold and, we don't know who Mosa is. There's a chance we could see a Gorosei here, but I didn't add it. We'll see what I get. I got Yonko, any Straw Hat member, Muma, Loki or Hyridine's mom, new name Devil Fruit. Depending on how much of this is flashback and how much isn't, could be a deciding factor in a lot of this. I'm assuming it's all going to be flashback though, because usually when we're in a flashback until we're done with it. Zoan Transformation, King Harold, Silhouetted Character, Wano Piece, Seraphim, Flashback, Food, Free Space which we can click, Blood, Sweat or Tears, New Named Character, Giant Child. Okay, so I have some pretty easy ones. Kid or Heart Pirates, God Knights, Named Attack, Viva Wappler Morgans, Cross Guild, Carrot Endor Zunisha, Marine, Revolutionary or Thousand Sunny. That bottom row was pretty shot, but other than that, like, I have a pretty decent setup, but I just have not had much luck with bingos. So either way, to start actually reading, we have chapter 1154. I Can't Even Die. And I'm thinking that's maybe in reference. Ooh, actually, I was going to say I'm thinking it's maybe in reference to Loki, whatever was up with Loki's birth and being special. And look with your special eyes. Whatever was up with that. But it could have to do with the, demon marking or whatever that Imu does, like to the Gorosei and to the God Knights. Like maybe that happens to Harold, and Harold can't even die because, like, take the God Knights we've seen so far, and as an example, they get injured or whatever, but they can't die, they just regenerate. So maybe instead of being something used to their advantage, it's something that's kind of a curse for somebody like Harold if he gets the mark or whatever. That it's like, okay, now I'm the king, but I can't die. But we're starting off with some Wano Piece. Let me double check. Okay, just checking the recording. We see some Wano Piece here. Onichild Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 38, at the grave of a hero born in West Blue and brought up in Ringo. And we see the snowy place covered in all of the swords. So that would be the one guy that was Onimaru's master and the one that was in the cave with Yamato, right? So we have, we get Ulti in page 1 here. We got Boss Cho, I think was that boss, the butterfly one from the Yakuza. We still have Kiku Okay, so continuing in the flashback. 63 years ago, Lord Yarul, the oldest man in the present day, lost his partner. Cascade-Beard Yorul was struck down dead by the hands of a certain young girl. Her name was Charlotte Linlin. A mere human, yet she left a large part of a giant village in ruins. She would later go on to become an emperor, earning the epithet Big Mom. Okay, so we could learn a lot about Loki's engagement and a lot of this other stuff with Elbaf's past. That same year, Elbaf faced a string of tragedies. It was calamity after calamity. Sudden fires, windstorms, and bitter cold. Waves devastated the crops. The abnormal weather also brought fishing to a halt. This once magnificent land had fallen into famine, and they're gonna blame everything on Loki, I guess. Now do you see? This is all that child's doing. This land was cursed because you all failed to kill it immediately. No, surely it's just a coincidence. And what kind of weird powers did she have connection to that potentially caused Loki to be like this? And if Loki's just born like this, is he one of the like gods or creatures mentioned in the prophecy or whatever? It's like, how is he just born special like this? Or is it just because he's a specific type of ancient giant mix? But that doesn't fully make sense. We have crashing, and we see baby Loki. Gah, he's staring at me. Gah, Prince Loki, take it away. Don't ever let that monster near me again. And he's just crying. Prince Loki, you have to keep away from your mother's room. Gouge out those monstrous eyes. If left unchecked, his curse will grow until it brings about this nation's collapse. So did he actually lose the eyes? And that's why he has the bandages. I was thinking they were just covering it so people couldn't see them. And it'd be insane if, like, again, tying into the title, I Can't Even Die, if Loki just regenerates and stuff. So they try to gouge out his eyes, but they keep growing back. And we have people crying in hunger because of the famine. And then, sorry, sweetie, that was the last bit of bread we had. You're going reaving. We could easily steal what we need from the humans. Ain't that how it's always been in Elbaf's history? Don't be ridiculous. A senseless raid on them would only bring shame to Elbaf. That's the law of the land now. Those bastards from Hunter's village are attacking. What are they? It seems they've hit the other villages too. Quick, harm yourselves. Don't let them loot the village. Internal giant struggles weren't unheard of during desperate times, but these incidents only resulted in making the period more severe and bloody. The country was engulfed in chaos and misery, and really for giants, this wasn't even that long ago, so a bunch of the giants we have living now have lived through these, like, times. I heard a rumor about that princeling born in the castle. He's cursed, and the bitterness festered as spirits broke. Hey, wait, and we have young Hyradine. Hey, Hyradine, your brother doomed this country with his curse. Huh? As his elder brother, you'll take responsibility as a sacrifice. What are you talking about? Don't you know my son's a cutie who's going to be the world's longest living man? Can it, Ida? Ida? You're nothing but an outsider who seduced Harald. Go to hell. I love this country. Don't you lay a finger on my mom. We have Hyradine standing up. I'm going to flatten you. And we have this punch. King Harald? And he does flatten this guy. Daddy? King Harald. Brothers, you must not fight amongst each other. The king? Then, word reached me about Loki's death and the recent famine. I was building a... Sorry, I need to, like... Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to, like, expand that. It was way too small to read. Word reached me about Loki's birth. Okay, birth, not death. And the recent famine. I was building a rapport with various nations. When the news came, our allies acted without hesitation. They loaded tons of food and supplies to be shipped here. Humans may be small in stature, but not will. Our allied nations came together to ensure that we got enough to truly fill and satiate our giant bellies. We will graciously accept their aid, and we see the humans help them. Gosh, it makes me so sad because I know that this is all going to go wrong somehow. Harold, how are we supposed to dock on the island? Yahaha, it's as big as you'd expect. Dig in and fill your hearts with gratitude. If these good folk are ever in a pinch, it'll be our job to return the favor with all our might. Remember, this tiny world is ours to share, and I wonder if this is set up for Elbaf deciding to join in and help the Straw Hats against the world government, to help when the world is in need. But before I continue off of this nice 2-page spread, we have tons, absolute tons that we can fill in here. We got Loki and Hyradine's mothers. We didn't get any Straw Hat member, though, or a Yonko, unless I'm forgetting anything. We did get Wano Piece. I don't think we have a silhouetted character yet. I'll have to think about that a little. We got King Harald. Blood, Sweat, or Tears, I'm assuming we got. Yeah, we got food. We're in a flashback. Okay, all we need is a new named character. Do we have one of those yet? I don't think we do. We got Giant Child. We don't have a named attack yet. Okay, so we're close. We just need a new named character. And I'm assuming I clicked Blood, Sweat, or Tears, but let me just go back to the chapter. I'll probably see it immediately. Yeah, we have Tears from Hyradiene, just immediately clicking back to the chapter. Okay, so think we're good. Let me double check the recording. Okay. Queen Estrid continued to publicly declare that the plagues suffered by Elbaf were brought on by the accursed prince, right up until the eve of Harald's return. She denounced her son with bitter hatred until her final anguished breath. Naturally, the people believed her passing was part of the curse. Loki, my son, and we have Harald happy. He was born with a condition that affects his eyes. Well, he could see, but I understand. What a pity. He can't even smile for me. I guess it makes sense. He did just lose his mother. So, again, I wonder then if he did get his eyes gouged out. I like that we're keeping it a mystery. Like, were they gouged out and that's part of the tragedy? Or does he still have them? At only a few months old, Loki had given up on love. You sure have a lot of scrapes. No, those are... Harald's diplomacy soon started to bear fruit, and Elbaf's winter finally came to a close. Branch Route 1. That's right, it'll help build inter-village trade and communication. Restoring the fractured nation and venturing across the seas continued to be prioritized, while other things became an afterthought. Freak, Estrid's older brother, was appointed as Loki's personal steward. This is the realm. All we need's a name. This is the realm of the dead. Isn't it dangerous here? The coastline keeps this area separated, so the beasts won't come near. And we see this is where Hyradiene and his mother grew up. You're so cute when you're worried. Don't you have training with Elbow from West Village? You should head back. Okay, all we need to do is potentially see Elbow. This is Zeta's Tavern, you hear. Fishermen, castaways, even pirates. I'm ready for any and all customers. With any luck, it'll be of help to Harald. 56 years ago, Yarul's house. You were at the scene of the reverie incident, Harald? Yeah, my friend was one of the invited kings. He smuggled me in as one of his guards. So there was an incident at a revelry 56 years ago. Okay, I couldn't ask the questions I wanted to without blowing my cover. If that murder hadn't happened, I might have been exposed. If you were caught, all this would be the least of your worries. Haven't you heard the tale of the Gaelra Warhammer Company? And then Kanji is Great Hammer Battalion. The Furigana might be a spin on Galila. That's what I was thinking. It's similar to Galila. So Galera. Okay. So this was a battalion, basically. They're that gruff troop of giant shipwrights that armed themselves with warhammers, right? So I wonder if Galila took inspiration from them then. I thought they were just a myth. No, they existed. They really did travel far and wide, sending letters back to Elbaf. I received the final letter myself. It said they'd all been captured. Can you believe it? Over 100 warriors were taken prisoner, including ancient giants. Okay, so now we have... And this wasn't even that long ago. So it wasn't even that long ago that this battalion of giant shipwrights was captured. So I wonder then if that's going to come into play in the future with the world government using them, or if they connect into things that we've already seen. You think the world government was responsible? There's no doubt that they once faced a great enemy. However, they sink deep into the ocean at a certain point in history. To be blunt, there's probably a deeper reason why your ideals haven't worked out, and it has nothing to do with you. Lingering animosity. Huh. These are just rumors, but I also heard a story about a frozen army of giants somewhere. It seems our people are regarded as enemies of the larger world. Clearly, but I've already resolved to face any hurdle. Prince Loki, I know you cursed and killed my little sister. Prince Loki. And then we have hearts here? Now we see... Now, let's see what kind of garbage we'll be serving up today. Wow, the horse of fortune died. The steward's something? Was the steward's body? Was in the realm of the dead? What is... Hold on. Again, I have this... Yeah, body. Sorry, the font was really weird. Okay. 48 years before the present day, and we see Loki growing older, the villagers drew closer in terms of trade and identity as the nation stood together. My dream is to join hands with many other countries around the planet, for the giant race to be welcomed all over the world. King Harald's so cool. He's changed so much. He's going to be a king who will go down in history. Well, well, you look thrilled, Hyradine. Is it 'cause you're illegitimate? Prince Loki's the true heir, right? You're just an illegitimate throwaway. So we see both of them had really rough upbringings. This is a disaster. King Harald's already left on his voyage. They're coming. Close the doors and get the children inside. Beat 'em all up, guys. This is Elbaf, the world's strongest country. We don't need weaklings here. Loki, driven by scorn, unleashed chaos onto Elbaf. And we have him with all of his creatures. He laughed at the feeble as they ran. Hey, Loki. And we have somebody confronting him. Probably Hyradine. Dad went through hell to rebuild this village. Huh? You think you get to call my father Dad? I don't get why everyone respects him. He's dumb for trying to play nice with those human insects. That's crap. We should all try to see from each other's perspectives. Don't get cocky just because you're big. Being cocky is my right. I'm the prince, and we see how Loki is like how Harald was when he was young. Really, don't you dare talk back to me, runt. Hyradine, stay back, Gerd. He'll think you're his friend. Loki will hit you next, and we see a young Gerd, and I think that's Goldberg. We are his friends, you dummy. Hyradine, are you okay? He needs first aid. Haha, so you're so pathetic I could puke, Hyradine. You're just a group of weaklings huddling together because of your mom's filthy blood. Young master, that's going too far. He's still the son of the king. He's also a prince. Don't call him a prince. Loki spread pain and destruction. He did nothing, but nothing he did filled his hole in his own heart. And we see him crying as he goes through it all. I can't even die. And we have him crying, bloody, after being sent down to the realm of the dead again. And he does still have his eyes. And holy shit! Holy shit! I just went down to the next page. Holy shit, I got chills. What? This was out of nowhere. But it also explains because Loki wanted to go with him. Sorry, I try to do things one panel at a time. I just saw it because it's huge. I am so glad I wasn't spoiled. What the fuck? What's the deal with this island? Where's the welcome committee? And we have the animals growling and roaring. Oh, we found one. Look, it's a giant. Help. This is definitely Elbaf. Gee, ha ha ha. This brat's got one hell of a devil face. I know he's a giant. But isn't he a bit too big? Hey kid, why are you crying? And we have Shiki and Whitebeard. Harold spotted this particular man 8 years ago during the reverie. So this is what happened in the reverie incident. Alright, kid. You better say yes to both these questions. I ain't the type that takes no for an answer. He single-handedly killed a Navy HQ admiral and vanished without a trace. This feat earned him a massive bounty and the government's ire. First off, this is Elbaf, the land of the giants, yeah? And is that Stussy that's with them? Can't quite tell. I don't think it's Big Mom. It's hard to tell at this angle. So it's either Stussy or, it could be Gloriosa. And then, second, we'll find Harold here. Yeah, so they're looking for Harold. This design is so good. This design is like even way better than I was expecting. Then future captain, hold on, and this is just a tiny thing at the bottom. We have Rox Dijevik, but also future captain of the Rox Pirate, father of Emperor Blackbeard. And that's just a tiny thing at the bottom. So that makes you question, what was Rox? And what is Blackbeard? Why does Blackbeard have this special body? And we know that when... God, what was it? When, sorry, I'm losing track of names here. It's, Scopper. When Scopper was talking about mixed-like races, he brought up Buccaneers. So Buccaneers were something that the world government was specifically trying to hunt down, and they're a mixed race, but we don't know what they're a mix between, because Scopper brought them up, so that means they have to be a mix between two things. So what is it? And one of my theories I was thinking is potentially one of the reasons they were trying to get rid of the Buccaneers is maybe they have special bodies, and maybe that's why Blackbeard can do what he does. So Blackbeard, I was thinking, was potentially a Buccaneer? And if so, what does that mean Rox is? And does that mean that... So what is... So Marshall D. Teach is Blackbeard's name. So is Marshall D. Teach a fake name and we still have to figure out the real name? Or is Marshall going to be his mother's name, and we're going to learn more about his mother whenever we get this flashback? This is crazy. So, continuing on, I love, like, little mini review here time. I love what we did with this backstory. Loki is an incredibly good character. Again, the way that this is all set up, I think that Oda really shot himself in the foot, dropped the ball hard as heck. Because again, mind you, I'm watching the Wano anime right now, so I'm watching the Wano anime as I'm reading currently in Elbaf. And, like, Oda dropped the ball extremely hard, the hardest he's ever dropped any ball ever with Carrot's character. It felt like going into Wano, she was set up perfectly as a character, and then not doing anything with her, and just not having her join the... Like, the treatment of Carrot at the end of Wano is baffling. No character's been treated like that in One Piece before, to travel with the Straw Hats for so long and not even get a special individual goodbye with the Straw Hats. Again, the writing there, completely weird. But Loki, I don't know how he would be able to sail with and join the Straw Hats, but I am fully into it. Like, I love Loki's backstory so much. I think his character is so cool. I am 1,000,000% down for Loki to join the Straw Hats somehow. Don't know how. Again, maybe some sort of hockey compression. Maybe some sort of devil, like a reverse the owl's devil fruit power and shrink things down. Don't know how, but again, I'd totally be down for him to join them. And then I love what they did with Hyradine here, because Hyradine in Dressrosa, he got his own cool individual fight and all, but he was kind of made to seem pretty weak. So it's nice to see him get built up so much throughout Elbaf, and I hope we continue to build him up like this. But then if we build up Hyradine this much, I'm gonna feel like, okay, we need to do more with the other Grand Fleet members, because we haven't done much more with the other Grand Fleet members. But Hyradine, I think, is great here. So I love what they did with both of them. We still have the mystery intact. We don't know why his eyes were like that. Like, or what the deal is with his mom. because she just died. The Horse of Fortune just died. And then, out of nowhere, we have this incredible chapter. Everything except the last page. We have this amazing, incredible chapter that I think does both Hyridine and Loki's childhoods, their backstories. It does them so well. I freaking love Harald. I thought Harald was going to be some world government simp or something, secretly working with the world government, and that's why he had to be killed. I thought he was going to be, you know, just in the backstory, like I mentioned before, just in the backstory to get killed during the flashback. And yet we have him fully fleshed out with his wife and his lover and his sons and all the work he put in trying to, you know, save Elbaf from this tragedy that it was undergoing, and how much he succeeded, how much he did, not just in Elbaf, but gaining all these human allies. Like, Harald is a beast. I freaking love Harald. I think he's an amazing character. He still has his horns here, though, so we still don't have the incident where he tore his horns out yet. And now, all of that incredible stuff with 3 very good characters. I think their moms are good characters. We're getting a little bit with, like, Gerd and Goldberg and stuff, too. But specifically, the 2 sons and Harald are being done so supremely, incredibly well. This makes me worried for Hyridine's mom. It feels like because they're at the coast here, like maybe something could happen to her. Okay. And then maybe the bar that we always see that that like Ripley was at, or no, it wasn't Ripley, it was just some other bartender lady, right? It was just that Cologne was there hanging out with Shanks and stuff. Maybe that bar is the same bar. It's still open down at the shoreline of Elbaf. But yeah, all of this incredibly well, and some of the stuff they mentioned probably like ties into so many other things, like the frozen giant, like is there actually a frozen giant army somewhere, and that's tying into the idea of like the frost giants in Norse mythology, because we're doing a lot with that when it comes to Elbaf. Or is it just a not literal frozen army, but is it just the story that the humans tell, because the giants have been like cooped up on Elbaf, but they're like at any moment the giants could leave Elbaf, and it's like technically this frozen giant army that could come for them. We have the, what is it, Galera company that possibly inspired the Galila company, is possibly even still around because giants live for a long time. It might not have been that recently that they were captured or taken down or whatever, presumably by the world government. But even though Yarul's pretty old, he's not like supremely old. He's like 400 some years, right? Which means that if he heard about it within his lifetime and got a message within his lifetime, they're giants, so some of them could still be alive being used by the world government. We could find out that that's how the world government was able to build some of their ships and stuff that they have, some of their technological advancements. So we have all of these small things, and then we get the last page. And the last page is series-defining stuff. We have the Rox Pirates, introduction of Rox. He looks absolutely incredible. And then, just as a footnote, mentioning that he's Teach's father. And it's like, well, what do we do with that? Like, we still need to figure out what's the deal with Teach. Also, you know, Teach didn't get his father's good looks. Like, Rox looks cool as hell. Rox is so cool. And again, what really happened to Rox with his defeat and everything at the God Valley incident? We're going to get that eventually. And we don't... Again, could something happen to Hyridine's mom here? What's going to be the deal between him and Harald? What's going to be the deal with Loki? Like, why Loki wants to follow him? Insane. And it says future captain of the Rox Pirates. So right now, I guess they're not even really pirates. He just has Shiki and Edward Newgate Whitebeard with him. He has, and like Gloriosa, he already has these people together around him, and he's not even like a pirate yet, or their crew isn't like officially a thing yet. This is so crazy. Yeah, I am so glad I wasn't spoiled because this is one of the craziest chapters that we've gotten. Like, One Piece, I mentioned, has been delivering and delivering basically almost all the way through Egghead, all the way through the ending of Egghead at least. The ending to Egghead is one of the best arc endings I think One Piece has done, especially post time skip. It's like pre time skip level of an arc ending. And then Elbaf just straight up might be one of the best arcs. Like, you could make an argument that Elbaf, like, I can't wait to see it in the anime, and when we get to that, it's like the best arc. I really hope that the studio takes more breaks so that they can improve the pacing, because, again, I'm watching through Wano. A lot of it looks really gorgeous, but the pacing's abysmal. The pacing's horrible. So if we can get the pacing under control, like, I just can't even imagine how good something like Elbaf could be, because this has been just such an amazing arc so far. Unbelievably good. Wow. And then this might even be the best chapter of like an incredibly good arc, because it might be the best chapter as much as I love the God Knight stuff. I think the God Knight stuff is like, to overuse a word, peak. It's amazing, but we got 3 really great character backstories expanded on here with Harald, Loki, and Hyrodine, and then throw on top of that such a massive, again, series-spanning kind of reveal of rocks, and series spanning in the sense that it's the connection to Teach is being just outright spelled out to us. So this is definitely, I would say definitely worthy of saying new named character, just because we got the name. I would have said new name character and given myself the bingo anyway, because we got the name of the person training Hyrodine. We didn't get his name, so I guess he technically wouldn't count, but we got the brother of Estrid. So we have all this kind of stuff. It's funny, no silhouetted character. We're just straight up shown them, and I am so glad we are. If we got a silhouette and they were like rocks, and then next chapter we get the reveal, it's like that takes away from the reveal, because now we know that we're getting rocks. Man, that was so good. And any Strat member, they're not a part of the main crew, but Hyrodine and his crew are part of the Grand Fleet, so if you want to count any Strat member, I would give you that. And he's not a Yonko yet, but he is a future Yonko. So if you really wanted to stretch to make it easier on you, I could give you Yonko for Whitebeard. So I could give either of those, I would say. So we don't have God's Knights. I don't think we have a named attack. Just glancing through the rest of these. Alright. That was so crazy. Amazing chapter. Amazing. Wow. I'm blown away. But I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more One Piece, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you would like to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks or sharing, it's appreciated. But if you want to support the channel by hitting join down below to become a member, going to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description, then you can get your name at the end of videos, and you can also get these One Piece videos a bit early. So thank you so much for supporting, for everything. Thank you to chosen regulars, Evan, Ollie, and Bertie Booster, Magical Girls, Evernono, JA, and the D-Band, Cheriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG, and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pateodale, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.